The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Good morning, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign here in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Brianna Aldridge and Aisha Morrison. And I don't know if it's like a good morning, ladies. It's more so of like a...
It's just morning.
I don't know.
It's just
like a morning.
morning.
A morning.
Wake
up! But we gonna wake up because we got some... well, not good news. It's like a mix of emotions with news. I don't really know how to feel yet. But ladies, the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons yesterday, a deal that was done with the Green Bay Packers in exchange for 2 first-rounders. Let's just say future first-rounders. And they also get Kenny Clark, a defensive tackle, 3-time Pro Bowler. Let's just start with the thoughts that crossed your mind when the news broke, because let me tell you something. It was sunny yesterday.
Baby.
And then it just seemed like the mood changed, and God said, I don't know how to feel about this. And then it started lightning. So I want to know y'all's thoughts. Let's start with anybody.
Well, it was a nice, quiet Thursday afternoon in my office, and our intern popped up out of his chair and said, Micah's headed to the Packers. And I'm just like, this kid is, I was like, is it even a reputable? Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm 30 minutes out the door. Like, what are you talking about? And then I look and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Right.
I tweeted initially the unthinkable happened. That's what my initial tweet that I put out there. I think shocked, because I think myself and us sitting here and all of Cowboys Nation, Jerry Jones, I don't think anyone took Micah's August 1st tweet of requesting a public trade seriously. And I mean that in the fact, not serious, like, yes, there was tension, and yes, he was clearly upset to request a public trade, right? You didn't see that with the CeeDee Lamb thing. You definitely didn't see that with Dak when they went through the same situation last year. But I just felt like this is how they do things, right?
Yeah, we see it all the time.
Yeah, so I was just like, yeah, things are not looking great, but Micah's just trying to get some attention and like kind of put his foot down. But when he said he did not want to play for the Dallas Cowboys on August 1st, yeah, he was for real. And I think it's just crazy how it unfolded. I think the last week, and I know we'll go over the timeline and stuff, but I just think the last week really started to trend down. That picture that kind of went viral of him at the airport requesting a second opinion on his back. Yeah.
He was going to Green Bay.
Yeah, he was going. Yeah, and it's just so many people. Like, literally, I know y'all can't see this, but these are like all the notes that I took from the presser yesterday, because it just was just like so much, because you had all these questions, and I'm not even sure that all the questions are answered after the presser. I think that's the frustrating part right now, because it was kind of like the first answer. I think Nick Harris tweeted the first answer to the question Calvin asked was 11 minutes and 30 seconds. And I forgot what the question was, because it was just,
why did they trade?
It was just
Micah
like
Parsons. Yep.
I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
So that's that. But yeah, still a little stunned. I know it's quiet here at the Star. Not sure because if it's 8 a.m. or if it's because it's a little gloomy outside. But Aisha, what you got?
Well, first, I want to say that my first reaction was, y'all.
You're sick.
Well, first of all, it's different too, because when you work for the Cowboys or you're around this organization, like, if you got anybody in your family that's a hater or McHater or friends or whatever, they gonna let you know. So that's initially how I got it, is that I had cousins like, what's going on down there, cuz? I was like, what are you talking about? Because I had a bit of weird day yesterday. And then, I mean, you get on Twitter and you see what happens. And I did feel like my initial reaction kind of was shock. But then as the day went on, it did started to make sense to me. And I will say, even the night before, there were some weird rumblings or some weird conversation going on where you just like, maybe there is some, maybe this is, whatever this has come to, is that it can't be mended. And I think that's what Bree was saying, is like this last week things started to really trickle down, and it felt like there was going to be a conclusion, and it just so happened that this ended up being the conclusion. So for me, I'm still struggling to make football sense of it, because I sit up here and watch how defenses react to this player and what impact this player has. But I also am trying to take in all of the thing about this type of stuff when it happens is that eventually we're going to know.
Yeah.
And we're going to start hearing and getting more and more information on what was really going on behind the scenes to kind of help us understand how this even became to be.
Yeah, and I want to give credit to Jane Slater. She was one of the few people that that reported it initially, but she had also said something which I could kind of agree with, because I've heard similarities within the locker room. And she had said that basically, like, one, I hate that it happened, this way, just because, you had opportunities to possibly get better draft picks, if you were able to get more for your bang for your buck, basically. But she had said that, she kind of heard within the locker room that it was time to kind of part ways. And that's something that I'd kind of been hearing within the locker room as well with a couple of the guys. So maybe it was, but I hate that it came down to this. And, with a guy like Micah Parsons, I mean, you simply just cannot replicate him. We've said it before, the production that he makes, it's very hard to kind of get that type of player back. But I mean, there were some things in the press conference that stood out to me, and me and Aisha were talking about it yesterday, was was the fact that they want to stop the run, right? This has been an Achilles heel for this team last year, the year before I got here, and I think that it just came at an awkward time, and granted, yeah, you do need a defensive tackle because you don't necessarily know what you're going to get out of Mozzie Smith. Let's be real. But I think that you could have gotten a little bit more. What you think?
I think you could have got a lot bit more. And
and do you think that their reasoning, was validated? Do you think that was an actual reason to trade Micah Parsons? What thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think it was more than. I think it was more than just about stopping the run. Because I think if it was about that, then some of the decisions that you made prior to that, some of the decisions you would have made during free agency, some of the decisions that you maybe even made during, like, I just feel like if that is what you were looking for, then this is something that would have been addressed sooner. And even so, when you look at the compensation, I know we're going to get the little intricate details, but when you look at the compensation, I just feel like they could have. What they're going to have to do to maximize this is flip it and reverse it. Somebody need to talk to somebody that worked with Howie over there with them green folks, some other green folks in Philly, and figure out how to really maximize this trade. Because if you're saying the 2 first-round picks and the defensive tackle is enough, I don't believe that, because we have to wait. There has to be development. We have to see this. This is a proven player. This is a proven player. And I do believe, looking at Kenny Clark, checked out some of his tape last night, this is a gentleman that can take on blocks, can disengage, can two-gap. And what I mean by that is he can hold double teams and allow linebackers to play free and be able to fill gaps and things like that. He can penetrate. He has some power behind his pads and how he can really push the line. But I do think he does help your run defense, but it can't just be about that. And I will say also, too, even in the presser, there were certain comments that this is something that is well known about Micah Parsons and other edge rushers in the game, is that when they are speed rushers, sometimes they're light in the butt, and you run at them. And that's how you take advantage of them. You can take them, you can scheme away from them and take them out of the game. And I know Nicole's going to get to that. But that's like some of what I was hearing as well, is that they thought, it sounds like they thought that the way that teams have schemed around you and schemed around Micah to be able to be successful in the run is something that they can live without maybe, and try to evolve the line as a whole so they can be better against the run. It makes football sense, but not right now and not with this player.
You said, Steven said, you can scheme pass rush. You can't scheme stopping the run.
No, but in fairness, though, that's quite literally what Eberflus is doing. He is, the way that his system is set up with the slant fronts, with the shifts, with all those things, he is scheming to stop the run. And so I felt like there was some, palm trees, Miami palm trees, sitting back with your feet, with your drink, sipping, you know what I'm saying? Facts. Look in the... I felt like there was...
That seems appropriate.
Some glasses needed in some of the commentary as well. So, I don't know, y'all. Like, it still don't make sense to me, but I think it is going to eventually make sense to all of us. What you got, Bree?
It doesn't make football sense to me. No disrespect to Jerry Jones, but what happened in the press conference overall, like I know a lot was said, is that him... Steven, they tried to convince everyone that Kenny Clark was basically the motivator to get this going. Literally. Like, they wanted a nose tackle. They weren't talking to any other teams unless that position was on the table. That's what stood out to me. The second thing that stood out to me, he said when he hired Brian Schottenheimer,
it was already on his mind.
What he could get from Micah Parsons. Somebody is... I'm not going to call nobody a liar. I'm not calling nobody's father a liar. But...
What's happening?
And I'm just like, Brian Schottenheimer, a couple days ago, was talking about Micah Parsons and him having good conversations after, some things, him taking a breather on the medical table, what have you, coming into the game with nachos or what have you. He was backing him up in training camp about he was dealing with a lingering back issue. We all have our personal thoughts on that, but he was, at the end of the day, his head coach was backing him up, right? My other thing that stood out with this whole situation is Dak is 32 years old. Everyone is saying his window's closing, right? And it's beyond that. It's the 30-year drought. It's the Eagles are the Super Bowl champs. It's the Commanders are getting stronger around you. And not only do you take your best, I'm not going to say player, but best defensive player to the NFC, to the Packers, the person... Did anybody remember what happened in 2023?
No, you ain't got to talk to us about 2016,
We're gonna let it
2014.
go. I need y'all to let it go. Please.
So,
but don't stress me out.
It's just like, if it just feels like this is going to be something that's going to come back and haunt this team. I'm not just talking about week 4 when they're facing Micah Parsons and Brian Schottenheimer has to put something together to stop Micah Parsons. It's beyond that. And that was the thing. It was like the last week is when it started to feel like, Jane Slater, again, credit to her, a couple days ago said, I'm not going to lie, I look at things differently at this point because this is the first time where I've reached out to both teams and nobody has confirmed nor denied that there's been a trade or request, what have you, or our conversations. And then a couple days, or was it even 48 hours ago, it was like, okay, well, now this is the first time the Cowboys are saying they're open to hearing conversations, because Stephen Jones was standing on business not that long ago saying we're not listening. Like they were kind of like laughing it off, like, we're not listening to trade.
Yeah, I remember sitting right there listening to him.
Yeah, we're not listening. We're not listening to that. So a lot changed, but I think the issue and the frustration is if it makes football sense, right? I think we can all agree. Number one, it maybe, like you said, maybe it makes football sense in a couple years. This is not a move that lets Cowboys Nation know you want to win right now. That's the number one.
Yeah.
This is a team that's rebuilding.
You voluntarily got worse.
Yes, you got to nose tap that situation. The interior defensive line got stronger.
It did get stronger.
But the only reason why the defensive end room looks so powerful is because Dante Fowler was coming off a really good season, was your number 2 behind Micah Parsons. Now you're taking a lot of more faith in that comes from your number 2. To me, it's like if CeeDee Lamb was in the picture. Like right now, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens look amazing. But imagine if you take CeeDee Lamb out of the picture. Well, now you just put all your eggs in one basket for George Pickens leading that room. That is exactly what's happening to the defensive end room right now.
Yeah, and Donovan Izaraku comes to mind. And now the push, the back and forth that we heard about James Houston and him making this roster makes more sense. Isaiah Land coming back over from the Colts, undrafted free agent that they drafted a couple years ago. It makes more sense now that they felt like they had to go a little deeper at that position if this was something that was kind of sort of maybe on the table but not on the table, but for real on the table. So for me, I was
trying to follow
so much. I know I took y'all on
It
a
makes
ride.
sense once I thought about it.
I took y'all on a ride.
Had to sit.
But no, like it did register to me like, dang, like they really are going to, whoever these pass rushers are going to have to earn a different.
Their job got harder.
Their job got
Everybody's
harder, and they are really going to have to earn any double teams that they get, any favorable matchups that they get. Because if I'm a different team right now, if I'm an offense, like, and I know that I got Dallas on the schedule, like I ain't got to worry about 11 no more. He's the only person on your defense outside of maybe a Trayvon Diggs that was there before that you have to really, I guess Osa as well. Osa maybe falls into that category, but this is someone that people have to plan for.
Yeah.
Game plan for, change their game plan. Hey, he took tight ends out of the game. He made running backs have to sacrifice their bodies. And like, who's going to step up there? It's just,
yeah.
I don't know. What you got, Nicole?
I was going to say we're going to take our first break. I want to dive into, the winners and losers of this trade up next in the next segment and talk about, who's that next man up, who's got to carry the load now that Micah Parsons is now with the Green Bay Packers and we will see him week 4. I'm stressed the hell out. But we're going to take our first break. We'll be back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk presented by Invisalign.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
The IndyCar Grand Prix of Arlington is coming March 13th through 15th, 2026. Gear up for a full weekend of world-class racing and entertainment through the streets of Arlington. Tickets are available right now at SeatGeek.com.
That's coming early. Y'all know what else coming early?
I like
Let us know.
IndyCar.
Wake up!
And by the way, it's Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. Sorry, guys.
It's all right. It's fine.
Sorry.
It's early. It's fine.
The X is silent.
But y'all know what else
They
comes early?
shouldn't have said Twix.
Why are you like this?
Because in your mind it rhymes. When you see it. Sorry.
That's great.
What else is?
Y'all know what comes early?
What else?
Week 4
The game?
against Green Bay.
Oh.
Let's get through the Eagles.
Boom.
first.
All right.
Oh, this is paining me. It's hurting.
It's like hilarious, but not like funny hilarious. Like
It's not funny, haha.
it's like
funny weird.
it hurts bad, so you just
Y'all know what's funny? I actually looked up the taxes that he gonna have to pay. So I did.
It don't matter though.
It don't matter. It looks great on paper,
I
but
know he got a CPA.
I hate you. Yeah, no, he'd be owing $3.6 million in taxes. So technically, that'd be like what, $43 million. So technically, if
It's really hurting there.
what I'm getting is, I know, right? What I'm getting is he would have been earning the same amount of money. I'm just trying to make myself feel better. But
I cannot.
okay.
What you and it makes sense. That's what we gotta try to make sense
We
of
have
it
to.
some degree.
Absolutely. But he, one thing that did stand out is, and we're going to get to, Kenny Clark, what he brings, and just the winners and losers of this trade, guys who stood out. But one thing that did stand out to me is that Jerry said that it was a unanimous decision about trading Micah Parsons, the front office, the coaching staff. Why are you out of the camera? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm
Cause
Unanimous decision.
unanimous
But Shotty has talked about the fact that he's enjoyed the fact that, he does feel like he has a voice, right? The entire coaching staff does have a voice when they bring in players, even before the draft. I mean, hearing that, what does that do for y'all? I mean, that's just the.
I think it's what you gotta say when you
this
make
feel like
this
a true
kind
crime
of move.
podcast. Go ahead.
Listen, okay. I grew up in a house with 5 boys. That means a lot of egos, okay? I know it happens when someone can't apologize or admit that they're wrong. Jerry, my story that I did last night ended with the perfect quote from Jerry because he said, in April, I gave him a deal, a good deal. He said, it's actually more guaranteed money than what is reportedly being offered from the Packers. And then he said, but then after the deal was done, again, in Jerry's mind, deal's done, he said, Micah then came back and said he wanted to negotiate. Then Jerry laughed. He took a couple pauses, and he said, it's pretty clever, isn't it? I think. And that's how my story ended. Because that told me everything
Facts.
that I needed to know about the situation. And I don't think we need to sit here and figure out much more. I mean, it was egos at the end of the day. I think Micah Parsons challenged Jerry in a way the other players haven't, and that's just the reality. Like, if you think about it, I think CD maybe did like one cryptic kind of tweet last training camp, but didn't really go back and forth with Jerry, didn't really call out the front office. Micah did all those things. Micah has a great platform. And I don't think Jerry Jones liked how that felt.
Yeah, and he's that's the thing about Micah Parsons is that his talent, exceeds, just Cowboy land, and that a lot of people don't like the Cowboys. We already know that. We already know what time it is. But there are people who don't like the Cowboys but love them some Micah Parsons.
Hello.
He is
Very
a
much.
universal player, and so the outpouring of support that he has gotten, and the pushback, and the we talk about, the Joneses and stuff liking the headlines, but it's like some of them headlines were against them during this process. So I do think that there was some real, and that was my concern the whole time, Bree. That was my concern the whole time, Nicole, was given how nasty this feels like it's getting, I don't understand how we can just sign a piece of paper, slide you your money, and you gonna come to work and see me and be all chummy. I didn't think that was possible to mend what was going on. And once it got to that point, then that's why I mean is like, I want to be really upset about this because it don't make football sense. But I also am sitting here waiting for some more of what was really going on to surface, because this was clearly a serious feud or some serious disagreements going on. Like, this ain't no small thing. And so I think that you're right, Bree, is like, once I heard Jerry say that too, I was like, oh, in his mind, it's game on.
And that's when it should have,
it's game on.
Yeah.
But instead of, like Nicole was saying, okay, we're not getting this deal done. And then that's when after money and all the situation, what they could do, they even said, like, the picks they have, they can make a trade and get some splash. I don't think that's going to happen. That's not what
they do. And that's what I'm saying is, like,
it don't make sense for right now. This feels like a rebuild. And when it comes to what you're talking about with the coaches, I'm not going to say that we're not in those rooms, right? So I'm not going to say that other people in position groups, what have you, maybe weren't on board. But to say it was unanimous is kind of feels like a stretch. But you never know. I will say, when that question with the presser about Micah recently, remember when he was like sitting down at the table and didn't look great? And Micah actually said something about Twitter, like it was basically like over exaggerated, what have you. But I think, and from what I remember from McCarthy's approach would have been like, I didn't see it, I'll have to see it and then go from there. Kind of like McCarthy's style was kind of like dismissive of those type of things. But Brian Schottenheimer kind of stood up there and basically said, like, that's not acceptable behavior. Like, straight up, he's like, I haven't talked to Micah about it, but I will have those conversations. But that same time frame, like, Micah was on Twitter saying, like, it was like downplaying it. It's not what it is. And that kind of stood out to me as well, because Schottenheimer kind of seems like he don't play those kind of games that compete every day that we're talking about, right? He doesn't care if you're the superstar or what have you. Like, there's a certain standard and a culture, the culture that they're trying to build. So again, I don't feel like it was a unanimous decision, but maybe it's something with conversation when you're talking about the type of culture you want in this locker room. Maybe certain things were kind of the tipping point in this last couple of weeks that didn't fit the culture they're trying to bring. But I think with this franchise, when you have a generational type of talent like Micah, you kind of just deal with some of those things.
I know it's hard for us to make sense of it right now, but I want us to try to make sense of it with breaking down what Kenny Clark does bring. I mean, but you talk about, what the Cowboys are losing. They are losing a big part of this defense. 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 52.5 sacks in his career, 9 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries. Absolutely a game wrecker, but you get a guy in Kenny Clark who's played in the NFL for 9 seasons, has only missed 8 games, by the way, in his career, 37 tackles in 2024, 1 sack. He's had 35, his entire career. Again, there, but also different positions. But just talk about, what you're getting out of Kenny Clark that you feel is validated for this Micah Parsons trade, Aisha.
I mean, well, when you talk about defensive tackle, the nose tackle in particular, if a team has one, they're typically holding them for ransom and they're not going to give them up. So I do understand within the conversations of the trade, if this team doesn't have a seasoned defensive tackle, we're not going to take them. Also, too, we already know how inexperienced this defensive tackle room is. So I understood that side of it as well. You, Nicole, you mentioned his durability. It sounds like shout out to John Machota for dropping a little bit of information about Kenny Clark and kind of the down year he had to his standards last year. Sounds like he did have a foot injury, played through that foot injury, which is why the physical today is going to be very intricate in finding out if he's ready to go. Hopefully he is. But when you talk about the player, he can play 1 tech and he can also play 3 tech. This is a gentleman that can, again, take on double teams. He can disengage and go meet the ball carrier in the hole. Now, what he also can do, he does have some good penetration. He has some decent get off. He plays with a lot of power and leverage, and he is able to use some of his hand usage, and also to dip his shoulder to influence how blockers have to take him on and stuff. He's seasoned. You see him read read offensive linemen as he's playing the game. So he is going to immediately help this room, this very young room that needs some experience, that needs some depth. So I think the ability is there with him, and you are getting a good player. Now, when it comes to the other part of it with the draft picks in 2026 and 2027, like my concern is are you really going to maximize what you can do with those picks? Like there's different scenarios that they can use to where they can get more picks for that first round, for those first round picks, for them to be able to really finagle. I don't know if Dallas is going to really finagle those first round picks and not just go with the first round picks. So that's the easy thing to do. That's the easy thing to do, is to trade up and just wait and do it like that. But like, let's get creative in how you try to figure out how to really get more guys in here, more suitable guys, or maybe even a couple stars to fill this roster. Because to your point, Bree, and to your point, Nicole, it does feel like this team, given how the years on the coaching staff, I think most of them signed 3-year deals. Maybe they're trying to establish something else here, and maybe this year is not going to look all super pretty and stuff. Maybe they're gearing up for things next year. And by the way, they freed up quite a bit of cap space to navigate as well. So I think all around it makes sense. But with Kenny Clark in particular, I want us to just welcome him, and also to, in retrospect to the room, he does help this room immediately get better to help the run defense.
They freed up $19 million of 2025 cap space with the Micah Parsons trade, by the way. Now hold an estimated $42 million, second most in the NFL.
And this is, ladies, do you think that has anything to do with considering having to pay Bland, Tyler Smith, baby, George Pickens, depending on what's happening? Like,
Don't forget, Deron Bland was saying before we left Oxnard, I hope my agent's been in talks. I was like, they got to deal with so much more right now. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to have their hand out that are an important part of this team. So I don't think they're going to go do anything with that extra money that is in the cap space, and I don't think they're going to do anything with those future first round picks. I think this is what it is.
It's going to be straight up.
They're going to roll with that's what it feels like.
Well, and then that makes less sense. Like, with that in mind, Nicole, it makes less sense, because if Jerry said, we could have had this, I've been thinking about this since I hired Broughton Scheinheimer and stuff like that, then you guys could have really maximized doing the draft. Actually, as a matter of fact, you might have had, that's why it doesn't feel like this was a part of the plan. Because, baby, I would have held somebody for ransom. You hear me? With Micah Parsons, when we're talking about, I asked scouts at the Senior Bowl, I remember I said, what is the position that is like, what is the position that's changing football? Speed rusher. So, like, the value is there. Now, baby, how much they pay him? 47 million
a year.
45 on the
Bye.
Baby, now that's a penny. Now, don't get it twisted, though. How did y'all feel about the number, ladies? How did y'all feel about the
it's a $6 million gap from what was offered before. And I'm sick because somebody asked me yesterday, what did Micah say he was willing to take?
40.
He said 40. No, well, he really said
lower than 40.
To be a $40 million per year player. That's what he said.
But then I was standing there when Clarence was like, because he said I remember. I don't have to be the highest paid.
Hello.
I want to stay here. And Clarence said, does that mean 38?
Clarence is childish.
He's very. So that was that, and it's just crazy. Like, it's just honestly crazy to where we got in this point. And yes, I agree with Aisha. 110%. You know, it's not like Kenny Clark is a bum. Not at all.
No.
Right? He's 30 years old. I think that's like some people are looking like we gave up a 26-year-old in his prime. Okay, a 26-year-old, one of only three players to record 12+ sacks in at least 4 seasons in the last 5 seasons. Okay, we all know the stats there, right?
No.
But it's like we strengthened a part of the defensive line to take
away from
what was the strength. And I was talking to a D-line coach yesterday, just randomly. I just wanted to get his thoughts. Like, what does this say to you? He said, it tells me that now you don't have a strong 4. and it tells me that now you got to bring down another guy, and now that leaves possibly your corners in isolation.
And they need the help.
The one-on-one, and I'm like, don't get me started on the cornerback room right now, because you're praying that Trayvon Diggs is healthy enough to come out week 1, and even if he's healthy enough to get on the field, he's going to have that rep count. He's not going to be the Trayvon Diggs right away, and then you got to look at other guys. We signed 2 guys that I had to Google that I hadn't heard. I'm sorry, I'm just a little full. And they could come out and do great things, but you're taking – your secondary has a lot of question marks, a lot of injuries, and we all know that this is all one accord. Like you were talking last week, Aisha, about, you hope your D-line can hold up serviceable, right? So your linebackers aren't washed out early in the season, and it stretches even further now to the secondary, because now you're asking, all right.
I feel like that's what was in. My bad. Sorry, Chris. But because I think that's what they were saying though in that presser. If you listen, and that's well known about these defensive ends that are light in the butt. If you want to beat them, you run away from them or you run directly at them. Yep. And we saw teams do that to Micah. And I felt like in that presser last night,
shots fired.
They were saying we have been trying to correct. I don't agree. First of all, let me disclaim and say I don't agree with the stop and the run thing and whatever. Like this, it's a collective thing. It's always been a collective thing, and they haven't had the necessary pieces to do that in a long time from just a personnel standpoint. So let me start there. But I will say that it sounded like to me that they were really emphasizing, we know teams run at him, and it's a problem. I don't know if I think they were trying to validate it by saying it's not going to get better with this player on the field. That's what I was hearing with a lot of what was being said, because I was sitting here just like, why do they keep bringing up stopping the run? And,
it was like a broken record.
And in comparison to Micah Parsons and what Micah Parsons brings, and then furthermore, the leadership thing, because we heard that was the buzzword this offseason was leadership. And then I remember last year in the locker room, we were hearing guys aren't in the right place. Guys aren't playing their role. Guys aren't playing their position the correct way. Guys are jumping out of gaps, and they're not supposed to be. So I'm hearing all this underlying stuff, and that's why I said I'm trying to stay patient, because it sounded like they were saying to me, this player helps us get better at stopping the run, and this one doesn't. And I at the same time, listen, I ain't about to go and act like that's the reality, but I do think that that's like something they're trying to tell us in between the lines, Nicole. That's what I thought.
I want to pose this next question in our next segment. Who's the next man up? Think about it.
Oh,
we're going to take our last break of the show. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Stay
Not ready.
game day ready with official Dallas
Wake
Cowboys gear. Shop from brands like New Era, Nike, Game Day Tour, Mitchell Ness, and more. Visit a pro shop near you or log on to shop.dallas.com. A Fanatics experience.
Wake up, girl.
My bad.
It's all right.
It's okay.
I had to jump in.
It's all right. All right, Wake ladies. up.
Chris,
Before we wrap up the show, he's always on.
we
time.
gotta take that button away.
Stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready.
Please.
And you know who gotta stay ready so he ain't gotta get ready?
Somebody on that defensive
Somebody on that
line.
A lot of them.
One of these is.
Y'all are so funny.
It's early. I gotta make it fun, you know?
We got to. We gotta have a good time at
Because
this
it's
point.
hurting me.
Got a long. It's gonna be a long.
Woo.
All right.
Absolutely. Who's the next man up, ladies?
Huh? What you say?
There's gotta be. It's gotta be a couple of them, huh? I don't think it's
It's gonna
one.
have to be a collaborative effort.
It's gonna have to be a defensive end by committee right now.
Stop.
I think you just gotta kind of. I mean, to me, Dante Fowler. There's gonna be a lot more expected from him to lead this group than was 24 hours ago. You're hoping Marshawn Nealon, pops out. That's who I'm looking at. Rookie Donovan Ezeraku, who maybe
Lord,
could chill a little bit 24 hours ago, if you will. That second round pick looks like it got a lot more important. And I think our conversation that we had, like going back to training camp and Micah wasn't practicing, and you were like, I think they have a lot of confidence in what Donovan Ezeraku can do and how that, don't make that face.
because that's what they were.
And I was like,
Now them using him in his spots
Yeah.
doesn't seem like, oh, they're just doing this because he's not here. They're doing it, no, because he's permanently not going to be here.
it's for real.
If there's a possibility he permanently is not. No, but so for me, it's going to sound crazy, but hear me out. I think who I'm looking at to step up, I mean, Donovan is obviously someone that you're going to be looking at. I do think it is going to take him some time with certain things. But I will say, I think Demarion Overshown is like going to be important when he gets back on his team.
Very much so. Hopefully he gets back faster.
And I wonder, we got to see him do some pass rushing type things. They used him as a blitzer, but there were times that they did line him up in that C gap. And so I wonder if that's something that they lean into, because he's kind of that wild card, twitchy. We'll see how his body is when he returns. But I do think that he might be a guy that you're leaning on or looking to make, a jump, because he is, to me, one of those guys that you plan for, that teams were starting to have to plan for, because he was being utilized all over in different stuff. So for me, that's going to be it. And Donovan Ezeraku at this point, which sucks, but
Overshown is a game changer. Micah Parsons is a game changer. Right now, I don't see a game changer on the field.
Well, they better, because week 1 starts in 6 days.
Sound like somebody mama figure it out.
No, seriously. The Cowboys, they were also brought up yesterday in the press conference, the Herschel Walker trade, back in, 1989.
it wasn't no
Cowboys.
salary cap yet.
I wasn't alive, but yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
me
the
either.
comparison
It's great.
around.
It's fine. Neither.
I saw the comparisons, yes.
And the Cowboys had some success, obviously, after that. But, we will see as time goes on how much the Cowboys have benefited from this trade, who steps up, who doesn't. But, yeah, week 1 is right around the corner, and we got to wrap up the show. So it's going to be a lot of fun this season. Well, I don't know.
Is it?
I'm sure we're going to be talking about it tomorrow, too, again.
Absolutely. Well,
Yes.
Monday, girls. Monday.
What's today?
Monday, girl. Today's Friday.
Oh,
Get it
Friday.
together. But that's a wrap for today's show. We gotta go because they got another show today.
Oh,
All
we gotta
right.
go.
That's a girl. What?
That was her. I said nothing.
You good? All right, ladies, this has been fun. All right, we will be back here next week on Monday. The Cowboys kick off the season. Philadelphia. At Philadelphia, by the way.
Game week.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's going to be great. All right, for Brianna Aldridge, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!